Yeah. Okay, we're live. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Shadow Hour. I'm Greg. I'm a paranormal investigator, an empath, and a medium. And we are here to go ahead and talk to a friend of mine whose name is Keith Age. And a lot of you people know Keith as the rock and roll ghost hunter. I'm sure that when you go down and you look at some of the biggest parties that were ever in the paranormal field, as far as paracons are concerned or anything like that, it's always Keith, and he's always going ahead and strumming a guitar. So it's always been really interesting, and this is a pleasure to me have him on the show. He's always been sort of like a semi mentor to me as far as all the places I've gone to. He's always treated me as a friend. He's a very, very kind man, and he's here tonight. And here's Keith Age. Hey, Keith, how you doing?
Hey, boss, you're gonna make me cry. That was so nice. Thank you.
Oh no, I wasn't intending it that way. I'm just that after you've been around somebody and then you're not with them for as long as we don't have a paracon going on, it's something to be able to go ahead and just compliment the person that's you mean something to a lot of people and you mean something to me. So that's the only way I could put it.
All right. Well, I thank you. I do appreciate it.
Okay,
And I
and
do take it to heart. As far as not having a Paracon, we just don't have a Mid South right now. Uh,
Your staff quit.
yeah, but
is that
we
Robin
do.
back there?
Yeah. That you hear Robin in the background who
Yeah,
says,
yeah,
"This is not my gig. This is not my deal. I don't want
yeah,
to do this." You
yeah.
know. But yeah, we got non-con that we've been doing for the last 6 years, and it's totally free. At Post Town. You come in, you can set up for free, and it's free admission. It's the whole weekend, and it's September 24th, 25th, 26th, and
Right.
it's me and Daryl Wisman from Post Town and uh, Jason Snyder. We've put this on for the last 6 years. It's our way of giving back and saying thank you.
That's a wild location too.
Yeah,
Jen Hodgson says what happens at the Paracon stays at the Paracon.
depends on what their name is.
You hear that, Jen?
Yeah, yeah, and it also depends on if there's live video or not.
So you guys had that last year still, right?
Year before, because
Year
we
before.
didn't have it last year. And I'll be honest, after 20 years, I was tired because that thing was just a monster, and it's so much funner and easier to put on smaller events. Like I said, like non-con. With Mid South, the last one, we got between 6 and 8,000 people, and that's just a lot for just a Paracon. So, plus yeah, we did have parties and the Orb Tones played and we jammed and on Friday nights and we're still jamming. Of course, we haven't played nowhere. We were supposed to open up for the Madison Regatta this year, but COVID kind of knocked that out too.
Now, you're Mid South that you're talking about, and I was trying to pay attention to some of these things that are coming up on the screen here on my side. I don't know if you've seen them on your side at all, but I'm trying to find that. Hello from the Spirit Road Paranormal Society. Is that down by you guys?
I don't know.
Okay, well, anyway, this Donald saying hi. And I
Hey,
just
Donald.
thought maybe it was since we were talking about that he was jumping in on that. Now, Mid South, where do you have that? And you have that in Kentucky,
That was always in Louisville. Yeah,
Louisville.
yeah. So I
That's
said
a,
for 20 years, and it was one of the first, and it was always one of the biggest. And like I said, I just always did it for people to have fun. Period. Get together, have a good time, enjoy being with each other. And like I said, after 20 years, it was just it was a monster, and
Right.
I just said, I need a break. And then luckily
Well,
COVID came along and it gave me a long break.
and when you were saying that other part that you were talking about Mid South, I was talking about Post Town.
Oh, okay. Well, Post Town, like I said, we've done this the last 6 years, and it's our way of giving back and saying thank you to the paranormal community or whoever else. Uh, Jason has the lineup so far. What we got, I know Scotty Rourke and Rick Hayes are going to be there. We got a bunch of other people coming in too. But yeah, I mean, we don't have a big party like we did for Mid South, but yeah, it's still fun. We have a bonfire and everything out back,
Right.
so that's pretty cool.
Yes, that's a great location. And then Amy Green says Mid South is always awesome.
And Amy's awesome too.
There you go, Amy. Welcome. Linda Morrison's on here. She says, "Oh my God." I don't know why she said that. She's probably looking at me because I'm all shaved and have a haircut and everything.
Well, that makes two of us. If you look at my profile pic, I've got a great big beard and I'm all shaved off right now.
So what you and Robin been up to lately? Anything?
Just trying to get go day by day like everybody else.
Right.
She's a nurse. She's in the thick of it. So and then I'm trying to get things going for the year. And as I said, we had a couple filming things at JC. My partner JC Rositas. We were supposed to film last year, and that's been put on hold because of COVID. But hopefully in the next 6 months that'll change around. Same way with events and stuff. I'm not really booking anything for the first 6 months of this year. People are having some events and stuff, but I'm not looking to really start for at least April, May.
Okay. And now on as far as you had you and Scotty had that psychic little thing going on that we did a month ago.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do that again. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is just because of where the location was. Why don't you tell everybody where you were? And you were there in person.
Yeah, we've done it several times, and we're going to do it again next Friday. It's a psychic experiment, and we're going to turn the tables on Scotty this time a little bit. The way we'd done it in the past was me and Scotty were the only two. When we picked a picture that we were sending out, me and Scotty were the only ones that knew it. This year, this time we're coming up next Friday, me and the host from Fearscape are the only two that are going to know. Sky's not going to know what the picture is, so he's got to figure out the picture just like everybody else does, psychically.
It's going to be like Clara Peller and Where's the Beef?
You got it. Yeah. And for those that remember that Wendy's commercial, yeah. And but the first time we did it where everybody joined in. It was a virtual thing on that we streamed, and we put pictures up that I had taken of Post Town. We don't lie to anybody. We don't try to fool them. We tell them what the pictures are of, and they're pictures usually of someplace I've been. And the one that Greg's talking about was Transylvania, at Dracula's actual castle, Ponary. And it's the real Dracula's castle, not the one that they use for advertising. And that's the one. That's called Band Castle, and that's the one that Bram Stoker stayed at when he was in Transylvania, where he got the idea and heard the legend of Dracula. He wrote part of the book of Dracula there. So that's just considered the Dracula Castle. It's really nice. But if you go to Ponary, which was Dracula's real castle up on Mount Sagat, you're up in the mountains, and there's just a little bit left of it. and it was really cool. People got some, just from everybody that joined into like Mary, just picked up some stuff. She actually got Dracula's battle steed's name, and
Wow.
just different things that people were picking up on, and we were like, whoa. So it's interesting and it's fun to do. I'm not psychic at all. I'm about as psychic as a brick.
Now, the only reason that, you were there in person.
Yeah, I'd been there 4 times, and throughout the last 15 years, so I got a whole bunch of pictures and stuff of the place.
What were some of the things that you saw or experienced when you were there?
I never really experienced anything paranormal. It's just the fact of where you're really at, and the history and everything. And we only had one picture that we said could possibly be paranormal, and that's part of the battlements when you go down below. And, but they're falling apart. And these battlements and stuff, they're at different locations, and, there's the armor and stuff that they wore. And, and the picture is when you're walking down the steps, I took 2 shots because there's a sign down at the bottom of the steps, and I remember thinking, man, I wish I could read Romanian to see what that sign says. And I walked about 4 or 5 more steps and took another shot, and there's something blocking the sign that looks like human form, but it's completely black.
Wow.
So, that's the only thing paranormal I ever did. The rest of the time it's just fun to go. And that's like I said, this one coming up next Friday is a place that I dearly love. It's Whitechapel, London.
Oh, no, don't say anymore.
Yeah. So, so anybody wants to join in, it's just $5 a person. It's an hour and a half worth of fun, and enjoy it. If you got any psychic abilities that you want to try out and test out, here's the thing to do it with.
We got a lot of people in here right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's going really good.
Good.
Ghost Head Soup's on there too.
Which one from Ghost Head Soup? Is it Miss Laura?
No, it's Mr. Dean.
It's Dean. Hello, Dean.
I would say it has to be Dean because, well, he had told me earlier that he may not be on, but I didn't answer him, so he probably felt guilty and he had to jump on. But they're a great group. They're real close to us here because we're way up by the border.
Yeah, they've been around quite a long time, and that's a good thing. There's a lot of groups that are here and gone. In 1996, I put the Louisville Ghost Hunters on the internet. We were the 39th ghost hunting group on the internet.
Holy cow.
Jason Hawes from Taps was like the 32nd. And now if you go look, there's millions. I mean, literally millions ghost hunting groups. And, a lot of them are defunct, and, because a lot of people get into it for the wrong reason. They think they're going to be a TV star or something, or, but I've always said, once all the fame and TV shows are done and gone, and the people that are in it for the right reasons will still be in it for the right reasons. I've been doing this almost 45 years now. So,
Well, I don't think I'll be doing it 45.
Well, that's just, I didn't get it to be on TV. That was just right time, right place. And, didn't even think we were going to do it. I was there at Waverly giving the tours and trying to figure out as much as I could about Waverly back then when they first opened up. And, the Booth brothers came in to film a little independent horror movie. Had nothing to do with the paranormal. Matter of fact, Ghost Hunters hadn't even come out yet. And, hadn't hit and struck lightning. A few other shows had been on, and that's it. But, they filmed that, and real things started happening to them, and they started filming it kind of like a documentary side project. And then when Death Tunnel was released, they thought it was going to go boom. Instead, Spooked went boom, and we were the number 2 paranormal show for several years. Ghost Hunters were number 1, we were number 2, and then Patrick Burns' series came out, and that's when they started picking up and growing out and everything with the shows.
Daryl's in. He's here.
Which Daryl?
Daryl Wiseman.
Oh,
Wiseman,
Weissman.
Post Town.
Yeah, my partner in crime.
He's there. Hello to all.
Cowabunga, dude.
So when you were talking about going ahead and working with JC, how long you been working with JC then?
Well, for years we talked about doing something, and then it finally came aboard. We shot a few little things, and then we shot a show for PBS, and then we got the green light to shoot the series that you were actually in with us at Rhodes Hotel.
Yeah.
And him and I have just been partners, I guess, for the last 4 or 5 years doing things. And
yeah,
we got a couple more. JC is my brother from another mother.
That's awesome. And to know all these people and everybody's one big happy family, that's what really makes it,
You can try, but there's so many different characters and people have things and everything. I'm being nice here.
I know.
It's hard, to find that, camaraderie. Like I said, we talked about before we came on the air. I've known Dill Kazmarek since the mid to late '80s, and we've always been great friends. And there's a lot of us that have known each other for a long time. Like I said, Jason Halls and all of us. I mean, we don't get together as much as we used to, but that's because the paranormal convention heydays are kind of beyond that point. They're slowly dying off, and the shows aren't as popular as they used to be, and I think it's kind of because people are tired of the same old, and I know that the Ghost Brothers and Jack Osborne are teaming up. They got a new show coming out on Discovery Plus.
Wow.
But it's exclusively on Discovery Plus. And Ben Hansen, another good guy, he's got a show on Discovery Plus. So, hopefully that stuff will take off and things will happen again. But like I said, Ghost Hunters came out first, and then we came out the next year, and it was just something new, and it hit that nerve that people wanted more information about, and off it went.
It's good.
I wasn't all gray back then.
It's good. It's good to see people that come out with new techniques as far as investigations concerned. Like some of the stuff with Amy Bruni and Adam on Kindred Spirits. Probably the best 2 episodes I've ever seen were the last 2 that they had, and it was pretty cool compared to the regular thing.
Which ones was it?
It was the one where they were. He was in a different building than her, and they were basically doing like an Estes.
Yeah. Well, I actually kind of have a modified version of the Estes. I have a Jason hockey mask, and you put that on. It's got a black cover on the inside of it where you can't see through it. So you put that on, and then you put the headphones on, and then just using pink noise, see if you get anything. So,
That's pretty cool. I know that I can't remember the name of the one that came out that had the like ping pong balls on the glasses. The
Yeah.
I don't know why it slipped, but that was uh, that was interesting. But we've been doing a lot of Estes, and we did a double at Post Town, or not at Post Town, at Old South Pittsburgh. That was pretty crazy because both of us, that was me and Kelly that was on here, did a double, and we were bantering back and forth at each other, and we didn't even know it.
Cool.
And
Tell you
we
what,
had
next time you do an experiment like that without using the what'd you use the
SB7s.
okay, SB said instead of doing that, try it with
Okay,
pink noise generator.
we'll have to have somebody come up with it.
You can get an app for it on your phone.
And that comes up that way.
Yep.
That's like one of those butterfly apps.
It's just like a regular app on your phone. You plug your headphones into your phone and turn on the pink noise generator. Which it also all the noise generators sound the same, but what it is, it has different levels. Pink actually gives out a signal. The rest of them receive a signal, but pink gives out a signal to where it's giving out energy. So that's the whole.
And then they're coming back on the energy to
Yeah,
you. You're the conduit.
right. So try it with pink noise. Just see if you get anything.
Will
So,
do.
put the blindfold on and put the ear cans on and somebody be in another room and see what happens.
Because tomorrow night, we're going to be with Scotty.
Well, Scotty knows what I'm talking about, then.
Yeah, and we'll be up at was it old Baraboo Inn
Yeah. What up, Milwaukee, isn't it?
in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay, I thought it was in Milwaukee.
Now he's been doing an investigation up there, but now as far as when you talk about where you've been and all the places you've investigated and everything else, if we wanted to go ahead and talk about, say, for instance, the state and your all-time favorite, what would it be
Mm.
besides your state?
Oh well, I mean that I know which one you're referencing, but Whispers. I love Whispers. I love Post Town, and not just because of the activity of Post Town, but Daryl and Brenda are just such great people. They're, you know, uh, you'll never find two nicer people in the world.
Right.
And there's been plenty of nights when I've been on the road coming home and tired and getting closer to Post Town than I am to home, and call Daryl at 4 o'clock in the morning and say, "Hey, can I come crash for a little bit?" And sure enough, he says, "Door 4's open. Come on in." So lock it back when you're done. Just great people. But Post Town's great. The activity is really good. Again, me and JC, when we were filming the show for PBS, we shot some of it there at Post Town, but it wasn't about ghost hunting. And we used the stage and we lit it all up, and it was about storytelling, about a storyteller. And it got up here. She's only supposed to do a couple of stories, and when she got done with the second one, she said, "Would you like to hear another one?" And of course, it was a live audience, and everybody's clapping and going, "Yes." And then right by the stage where I was standing, when everybody got done clapping, you hear a little girl's voice say, "Yes, please." And we turn around and look, there's nobody there. My assistant, she's standing there. And I looked at her, she looked at me and said, "Did you hear that?" And of course, we got it on film, and which we weren't trying to, but So, you know, here's a little girl's voice that's asking for more stories. She enjoyed the show.
Now, since you are South, have you ever done anything besides paranormal, or do you fish at all?
Fish?
Yeah.
As in, like,
You see,
I did when I was younger. I haven't in maybe 30 years. Uh, you know, my whole world has always been music.
Yeah.
You know, I was playing in bars when I was 12 years old. And, you know, I was on the road when I was 16. And that's the way my life has been. And, you know, of course, back in the 70s, it was, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll. And I kind of lived up to that reputation quite a bit. And, you know, but I'm a photography major, so I love photography. I love artwork. Won some awards and that and everything, but no, fishing is not one of my absolute favorites.
see, the only reason I really said that was because I know Robin's listening very attentively, and it was like I should throw a trick one there just to see if she's paying attention.
Oh, she's listening.
That Robin, you're gonna have to go ahead and put the worms on the hooks then.
Nah, she's the Boy Scout. I will admit that. Uh, you know, I grew up on rock and roll. She grew up being a Boy Scout. It's like when we went to Lake Shawnee. Uh, she pitched a tent and the whole 9 yards, and me, I was like, oh, I can't deal with this trying to sleep with. So I went to the SUV and watched the fog roll in. You know, it was just great, and you couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
Wow.
You know, and here's this great haunted abandoned amusement park, and I had the window down in the SUV. I kept hearing something move between the SUV I was in and the VJ Hodges truck, which was parked next to me, which I couldn't see anymore because of the fog, and it was only like 5, 6 feet away. So you're out in the middle of the woods. So here I'm kind of sitting there by myself. I got my phone on one leg and my 45 on the other leg, and I'm listening for something that's moving around. And I got the window down. Next thing I know, something reaches in and touches me. And of course, I'm grabbing the gun and cocking it and aiming it, and it's a damn deer.
Wow.
Stuck his head in through the window. I about blew his head off and BJ Hodges' head off too, in a truck next to me.
And
so
I was sleeping like a baby.
Yeah, Robin was enjoying the hell out of the tent, and so yeah.
We had a great time there too. We were there 2 years ago, and with Dale, and the mother and the son. I can't remember what her name was, but
Chris, God, yeah, I enjoyed talking to her too, and looking at some of the pictures and stuff that she had, especially the video that she showed me of the locking mechanism locking itself on the Ferris wheel, which hasn't moved in 60 years. Vines growing all up through it and everything. And here's this locking mechanism. All of a sudden, you see it just pull out like somebody got in and shut itself back up. And you're like, okay, that's pretty cool.
you didn't go in any of those buses that were there, did you?
Oh, yeah. Lord, yeah.
In the middle of the night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bob Davis. We took him in there, and we were doing a little Estes in there. That was fun.
Yeah, there was a guy there at that night. The TV show, about gypsies. I can't think of the name of it. My Gypsy Family or something like that, or that was filming back then. They were there filming that night, and I was just there doing an event investigation, and another guy doing a documentary. And the gravel road that goes around the circle of the
Right.
place, you can hear things walking on it, but you're looking and you're like, there's nothing there. So It's pretty interesting.
That whole corner where you when you were there, had they already dug up all those graves, all those Native American graves that were over on that one side?
No, they hadn't dug them up yet. They were all over. You still had to walk back through the path to get to them, but they weren't dug up.
Because they were excavating or doing something back there, and they said that they probably had stirred things up a little bit more. But they were remarkable people.
Oh yeah.
She
Oh,
came.
definitely.
Nick is on. Nick, this is Nick Sarlo, and he's the founder of Shadow Hunters.
Yeah, I know Nick.
He's here, and who else is up here real fast? Amy Green.
Jenny Davis. Is that Jenny?
Yeah. Uh,
Hello, Jenny Gurney.
Jenny Hodson's on her. Daryl says, when you leave, you believe, and it must have been about Post Town, obviously.
Yeah, that's about Post Town. Yep.
And then there's a bunch of other people that are from around here and everything. Jenny Davis.
That's who I just said hello, Jenny Gurney.
Okay. You saw that?
I saw her face.
Okay. And there's Kat. She's from one of the Psychic Unite group. So
hello, Kat.
well, we're still trying to look for that all-time one though. If you were to
all-time what?
All-time investigation site, all-time, and you could use your state. How about that?
Well, that's okay. I know you're trying to get me to say Waverly Hills. That's in my top 10. Because I was there for so long.
Yeah.
But there's other places that are just as cool, and some places that are actually more active than Waverly, and so yeah. If you can go and enjoy a place, go and enjoy it. My big thing right now, a lot of places are just they're pricing themselves out the door. They're wanting too much money. Like I said, that heyday of big time money is gone. I mean, there were plenty of events that I did that, with me and Jason and John Zaffis and all of us that had TV shows that had contracts with this one company. It cost $200 to $400 a ticket. Those days are pretty much gone.
Yeah, that's absolutely insane when you think about
it. It is, and that's why with Mid South or any of my events that I do, I try to keep the ticket prices down low where people can afford it and enjoy the event.
And you have the event when you do old Mid South. That's in a big hotel anyway, right?
Oh yeah, like I said, it's a monster.
So that's like
we usually have between 20 and 60 paranormal guests.
That's unbelievable.
And it started out, the first Mid South started out at a place called Expo 5 that I used to run. It was an entertainment center. And our first three guests were Chris, oh God, I cannot think of her name. Oh, she was from MTV Sphere, and I've known her for years, and she's going to kill me for not remembering her last name. Pat Fitzhugh and Charlie Mattingly from Waverly Hills. So we just the first one we did was 3 people, and just so many people attended. We were like, "Wow, gotta do this again." It just grew from there.
Well, and then when you were talking about Post Town too, you got so many locations right around that area too that are really, really cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, there's plenty, but like I said, Post Town is just one of my favorites, not just because of the hauntings, but because of Daryl and Brenda. They're just great people,
Yeah, I'm really tempted for this year. That's for sure.
Well, come on down. It's free. It doesn't cost you nothing but getting there, and whatever you buy something from a vendor, that's all it costs you.
Yeah.
It's got RV camping, tent camping, and
We've
it's
been
all free.
we've been talking about it between.
Yeah.
It would be quite a thing to be able to do that.
Well, I mean, the last couple of years, we got between 400 and 600 people for the weekend, which is really good. And it's growing every year. Now, last year, because of COVID, and we did try to keep everybody pretty much 6 feet apart, and and everything, and adhere to the rules. We got right at like about 170, 180 people that showed up for it, and that's still good. That's because people want to get out. They're tired of being cooped up and tired of being told you got to be cooped up. But we want this pandemic to go away as fast as we can, and we all got to play by the rules. So may not like them, but hey, if it's the law, it's the law.
Mansfield.
The prison.
Yes.
Yeah, been there, like it. One of my other favorite places. You're talking about being up in Ohio, in West Virginia. Oh crap, what's the name of it? Up there, right across the street from Bel Air, the Bel Air House. The prison up there.
Oh, I know what's one.
God, I've been going there since the '90s. Ohio State Reformatory. There's actually pictures of me in the place from the '90s when they first opened it up.
That's right.
What is that
I
prison, West Virginia? Moundsville.
Knoxville.
Yeah, love that place. As far as on my bucket list of where I want to go,
Yeah,
and investigate is Moors of Scotland
Chernobyl.
and Chernobyl.
you want to go to Chernobyl?
Yeah.
You're gonna have one of those radioactive suits you're gonna put on.
You'd have to be. According to Josh Gates, it's a crazy place.
Yeah. Yeah, those specials they had on TV were really well done, and there's been a couple documentaries that were done on it too that were excellent.
Like I said, Josh Gates has been there, and he said it's pretty awesome. It just he said it's a weird like you've never experienced before in your life.
See, have you been to any like any of the catacombs, or
In Paris, yes.
you were to Paris? You see, I was in the ones in Rome, the
I
old
haven't been to
catacombs.
Rome. Haven't been to Rome or the what's that called, the Muscat in Italy. I've been to Italy, but I haven't been down there. Um, but yeah, the ones in Paris, yes, I've been to.
That's pretty spooky there.
Yep. Uh, Japan has the haunted forest, which is wild.
I know what you're.
Yeah.
Let everybody know what that place is like. As far as the
What,
history,
the
yeah,
haunted forest?
yeah,
It's so steeped in legend, it's not funny. And you go in and you see all these dolls hanging by their necks and their arms, just thousands of them. And there have been a lot of documented deaths in this woods of suicides and also murders. And you know, it's to me, it's there's so much in the brain that can make something paranormal. And if you want to go into one of the spookiest places at night, without a gun or anything else, here it is. So,
you would you have to have a gun if you went in there?
oh, there's real live animals and stuff. I kind of have a different philosophy on things than a lot of people do, but I'm old and decrepit, as Robin tells me. Uh, kind of set in my ways. It's like I was doing a radio show years ago, back when I was one of the very first people to have thermal imager, you know. They wanted me to go Bigfoot hunting with them, and I said, sure. And they said, what would you bring? And they wanted me to bring the thermal, which I did. And I said, okay, I'd bring the thermal and I'd bring some recorders. And I said, I'd bring a 30-06. And they went, what would you bring that for? I said, well, you're just sitting there telling me how this thing has been throwing boulders and rocks at your tent and everything. I said, what better way to prove that Bigfoot exists by blowing his head off and dragging his carcass out? And they just kind of went, what? You'd actually kill an endangered species? And then that started the argument with me by going, I'm like, well, first you got to prove to me it's actually exists for it to be an endangered species. And, because I think that's the only way you're going to be able to prove Bigfoot is to actually either A, capture one, or B, kill one and bring its body out. Because that's just nature of man. That's how we've done it for thousands of years, millions of years. That's how we've proven whether something existed or it didn't. Same way with ghosts. A lot of people, oh no, ghosts have feelings too, and I'm like, prove it to me. You know, uh, you know, I'm not so much interested in saying, going here, Mister Ghost, let me help you cross over if that's a true thing or not. Interested in finally actually meeting one, shaking his hand and letting him tell me his name is Bruce, or Bob or whatever, you know, and you know, capture lightning in the bottle. 'Cause, as of right now, I don't care. People will tell you, "Oh, we got all kinds of evidence." No, we don't. We don't have one physical shred of evidence right now. It's full of conjecture, and things that have happened that we cannot explain. It's a phenomena. You know, it could be some little green men on a far off planet going, "Hey, watch this. Watch what I do now."
Yeah.
You know, and we don't know. We'd like to think it's ghosts. That would be the optimal answer, but we got to figure it out first. We don't have an actual reason why this stuff happens. That's why I don't even use the term ghost anymore. It's a phenomena. you know. So, like I said, uh, I don't care to help pass them on or get their feelings feeling better or nothing like that. I just want to prove they actually exist.
What a better way to
Probably
do
won't.
it.
It probably will not happen in my lifetime. And so I'm sure you and I both will get hate mail over what I just said. So
We don't worry about hate mail.
I don't either. That's why I don't care what people think. Again, that's the whole point of it. These are my opinions. Don't like it? Well, sorry. Go form your own. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to debate you. It's just like politics. I don't go out spouting what my views on politics are, because people are crazy nowadays. You know, that's like orbs. You know, people go, oh, we know you don't like orbs. Well, hell, I got stabbed over one. You know, you
Oh,
know,
that don't make it.
yeah. So, you know, I mean, literally a 2 inch by 8 inch knife got thrust all the way in my chest, and lady just got out of prison after 15 years.
Oh,
And
God.
over an orb picture, a piece of dust. But in her mind, that was her dead Aunt Petunia, and I just, pissed her off.
Blew her right out
So,
of the water.
yeah. So, she said, yeah, you're dead, buddy. And that's what she tried to do.
Wow.
Anyway, so, when it comes to orbs, people go, oh, a lot of people say, well, it's this, it's that. I'm like, when you can recreate something 99.9% of the time, it's not supernatural in nature. Now, I have seen balls of light, if you want to call them orbs or whatever, at the place you keep trying to get me to say its name, Waverly, uh, uh, where these things floated down a hallway and zipped that. They were actually balls of light. Uh, and this was with your naked eye. You just watch them move up and down, go through the hallways, and they light up the whole hallway as they moving. And one time I was given a tour to about 25 Louisville cops, and we were up on the third floor, and they were already jittery and jumpy, and all of a sudden this ball of light comes around this corner and zips by us and starts going down the hall. Next thing I hear is guns being drawn and being cocked behind me. And I'm like, you know, let me move out of the way before y'all decide to shoot here.
Yeah.
You know? So,
Brick,
fear, adrenaline, and paranoia can create a ghost real quick.
brick walls.
And I didn't want to be the ghost.
When we were at the roads, and we were doing that investigation, and we were in the room where I can't remember what his name was. The young man died of tuberculosis.
Yeah, and he liked the little girl that was asking questions. And we were using a piece of gear by James Claretta that I still use and still love. And every time she would ask a question, this thing would just go crazy. And when she was talking to her, and then her boyfriend kind of got a little jealous, and he started putting his arm around her and everything else. And whatever this thing was that was talking to her did not like it. And darned if that boy didn't get pushed out of the doorway and almost pushed down the steps and a few other things till we really had to say, please stop this. We don't want nobody getting hurt.
Yeah, you had given an explanation that night pertaining to an eddy meter that I had in there, and the fluctuation of the temperatures in the tents were going back and forth.
Right.
And then they were dropping. Could you explain that again? Do you remember?
I don't remember all the who's, what, where's, and why's. Just the fact that you could, because of the temperature and which way they were moving from device to device, you could kind of see where the energy was. Right. It was like pinpointing the energy, and it was moving. So when the temperature changes, that means there's a change in the atmosphere around it, and that's creating or not creating, but it's taking power to do that. And that's why we were like going, wow, and look at this, it was moving from within 6-8 feet just constantly, and then it was also reacting to the girl talking to this thing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I know you had everybody's attention in the room, and the poor little girl and her poor boyfriend. But I actually,
she was having fun.
Yeah,
he was pissed.
It was like a jealousy thing was coming into play.
Yeah, the only thing is he was messing with something just a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger.
Did you like the attic up there too? Did you do any time up there?
I spent my time up in the attic when nobody was there in the house. Now, the best thing that you all don't know about, but we caught later on that night after everybody had left, we were in the first bedroom, which was the old madam's bedroom.
Okay.
And we were the only ones left in the house. The caretaker had left. She gave us the key and said, I'll see you in the morning. Well, nobody in the house. We're sitting there, and we have the door slide bolted because the locks don't work on the doors anymore. They're just, those old glass style doorknobs, on a metal square shank to the next doorknob in a round hole. So we're sitting there talking, we're laying in bed talking, and all of a sudden the doorknob starts turning. And Robin goes, who do you think that is? I said, well, hope it's not a burglar. And we're the only ones in here. And about that time, this laugh went off between us on the bed. I mean, like somebody was laying there next to us. And she looked at me and I looked at her and I'm like, it wasn't me. And I said, where's my digital recorder? And she goes, it's over on the dresser over there. And I said, would you? And she goes, nope, I ain't getting out of bed. And she didn't want her feet get grabbed or not. She just said
I like,
they would grab my leg. So she finally jumped up, grabbed it, and gave it back to me. Well, I turned it on and set it on the floor next to the bed. And we're laying there talking again, and and the doorknob starts turning again. And she goes, who do you think that is? I said, maybe tonight's the night I finally get to meet Bob the ghost. And the laugh goes off again. Again, it sounds like it's between us. Well, this time I caught it on the recorder.
wow.
And when you listen to it, it sounds like it's right in front of the recorder. It's breathing into it. And it just starts this maniacal laugh. And then on that dresser that we was talking about the next morning, everything was rearranged.
Wow.
So, like I said, y'all didn't know that happened, and that's part of the film, part of it. But y'all were already gone.
Well, that's amazing. You know,
I'm sorry about the shaky camera. I got a dog trying to get on film here.
oh, that's okay. Let them come out.
She's
Let
knocking
them
the
go.
phone back and forth in my hand.
It's awesome. So, for the whole entire year this year, you think you're going to be doing a lot of traveling or very little?
I mean, usually I do between 48 and 52 gigs a year every week. And last year I did 3. That's between the the bands and the paranormal stuff. So like I said, last year I only did 3. Hopefully this year we'll do more.
As far as events are concerned for the band, do you have any big ones coming up for that?
Uh, we've been offered a couple, but to be honest, the band hasn't even been together for a year now.
You have
Because of COVID.
you know, hopefully, are you guys? Did they give you any plans for getting any shots by you already or not?
Getting one, I'm sorry.
Getting the inoculations.
Robin's already got hers, and she's got one of hers, and then I think in the next month or so I'm supposed to get mine.
It's about the same time I'm going to get mine. We got them at the VA, but I don't know if I'm going to go over there to get it there or not, because that's a big place with a lot of people in it. And I've been staying pretty close. I haven't been going too many places, but
Yeah, she's got lucky. She got hers at the hospital,
right.
so
Well, that's her job.
yeah,
That's important.
yeah. So I'll probably end up getting mine in a line somewhere. Stick your arm out here.
So how's BJ Hodges doing?
Pretty good. I've talked to her a little bit, not much. Again, everybody's kind of hunkered down.
Yeah, I was just interested. You had brought her up before, and it was like, wow, I don't think I've even put a message out or anything. Comments on Facebook. That's about it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But,
Well, uh, as far as Facebook goes, she stays in Facebook jail a lot, so you never know about BJ.
that's something that came up, a couple times in the last couple of years. Where's BJ? He's in jail.
Yeah.
And as long as we're talking about some other places, what about Mackey's?
I've been going there quite a long time. I'll be honest, I've only been there once where I had something happen. And most of the time, I think a lot of it is just, fear, adrenaline, and paranoia and wanting something to happen. You know, there was a murder there. There have been several murders there. Uh, very good book was wrote about it. And now the well, everybody goes, I want to go see the well. I want to go see the well. Well, you ain't gonna see nothing. It's been filled in, and you're looking at just a mound of dirt. But there is a staircase that goes from the ballroom all the way down directly in front of that thing that's been closed off for years. It's been closed off up at the top of the ballroom. And, you know, we were sitting there just in the dark trying to do an EVP session, and you could clearly hear somebody walking down those steps, in, hard boots. You could tell they were boots. And I'm sitting there looking at the door, just waiting, waiting, waiting. You hear it getting closer and closer. And when they got to the bottom, nothing happened. So I went and opened the door, and nothing was there. I was like, well, now that was pretty cool.
Wow. I know a lot of, I do a lot in Kentucky, but where I do my stuff at or have over the years has always been over on the eastern side by Moorhead.
Yeah.
So I've been on Cave Run. I fished professionally for quite a few years for muskies, and that was part of our circuit. So I had a lot of people in Frenchburg and little places like that outside of Moorhead. That
Oh,
that's
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's some interesting area there.
Yeah. My guy used to live next to me, graduated from Moorhead, and he'd tell me some of the tales of some of the things that happened around there. And then I got to meet his mother, and just, old school country. And, saw me, met me, shook my hand, then made the sign of the cross and said, I don't want to talk to you ever again. Uh, you know, that type of thing. And, I got some family that, from Blackie, Kentucky, which is, just
Yeah.
below Moorhead. And, so I got a lot of family that grew up in the rural stuff. And so I've adventured a little bit all over there.
Yeah, we always would have these discussions between the boys from West Virginia, the boys from Kentucky, and
Yeah.
us from being up north, and it would always start out with something like, "Well, you guys got Bigfoot," and I said, "Well, no, you guys got the Mothman," and they go, "Shit on that noise. We don't have the moth. We don't have the Mothman." He says, "We got the little grays,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a whole festival
yeah,
made for those little grays,
yeah, that's
That's,
some,
that's over by Little Sturgis,
yeah. But it's the big thing has always been to me is the hospitality, because of out all the states that I've fished competitively in, none of them can compare to Kentucky.
There's some that some places you go to, whether it's Kentucky or anywhere else, where you just you look at people and go, man, why can't y'all just be a little bit nicer? You're wanting people to come to your state and do your events and all this other stuff, and you know,
Tina Marie Ronan's on right now, and she says, "Holy cow, is that Keith Age? Behave, man, behave."
I ain't done nothing yet, lady. Give me time.
That's always cool.
Oh yeah, Tina's great. Love her to death.
Yeah, it's amazing that because those people really lived. I think
Hmm.
amazing
Yeah.
part was that a lot of them were coal miners, and was did you have people that were coal miners too?
Yeah, my uncle and his whole family were, like I said, from Blackie, and uh, you know, that I can remember going up there, and I was a little kid, and all of a sudden there's this black man sitting at the table, and I looked at my aunt. I said, "Who's he?" And she said, "That's your Uncle Tom." And I went, "Huh?" I thought she was being smart, and
Right.
uh, but it actually was my Uncle Tom. Just he just got done come in from work from the mine, and he's just black,
Right.
from in the mine all day.
Coal
And
dust.
yeah, coal dust. And I've lost some family members because of the coal dust in their lungs and stuff. And there's a couple caves, or shafts that are up there in just outside of Blackie. Was it Morrissey? I think Morrissey, something like that, where they had a cave in, and we've investigated them as far as we could and stuff like that. Tell you what, boy, that's an eerie feeling to go, a mile inside a mountain. And you're just like all this weight above you, and all that you look
Oh,
around, and there's all these, just the only thing that's holding up these walls of this mine shaft are these 2x12s, and you're like, or excuse me, 8x12s, and you're like going, boy, that's a lot of weight. That's it. Just now, that's eerie. That's a scary feeling to me.
The part that I know of too is I went to school in the UP of Michigan, up in the copper country, and below Houghton and Hancock, especially.
Yeah, Hancock.
That was all copper there,
Hmm.
and you'd be sitting doing your work at night for school, and all of a sudden the whole place, it was like an earthquake, and
Yeah,
one of those mine shafts would be collapsed,
yeah.
and it would
Or
be,
or they lit off enough dynamite to bring half the mountain down.
oh god, it and they were like 12, 15 miles down.
oh,
Yeah,
oh, wait.
What did she say?
she's yelling at the dog.
Oh, Tina Marie again. She says, "Say hi to you."
Well, like I said, hello, Miss Tina. Love you to death. Thank you for all the good things you've done for me.
So it's great having you on. I wish we would have had Robin in the picture too, but so
Uh-oh.
be it.
The
Send
Woogie
our
laughing.
send her love, and
She can hear you.
it's been a pleasure. And we'll go ahead and keep in touch, and hopefully we can get you back on down the road a little bit.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll see you next Friday night at the psychic experiment.
Yes, sir. You will. That's for sure. You guys have a good night. We'll still be on a little bit here when she shuts us down, so it'll be you and
That's
me.
cool. Well, I appreciate you having me on, buddy.
Okay,
Been
it's been
a
it's been
long time, and it's good to see you and good to talk to you.
yep, it's been a pleasure. Where's she at?